You need to do something that challenges you beyond comprehension, something that genuinely seems completely impossible. And you do it and you go for it and let's just see what happens.
Hi, my name is Nikki Tamburino, and this is Maybe Running Will Help. Today, you're going to be hearing from Mason Wright, aka Buff Runner on Instagram, who is currently, right now, running 1,000 miles around a track. Yes, he and his epic mustache will be moving in circles for 15 days. Before he started this mission, I had the chance to chat with him to talk about what it actually takes to attempt something this big. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and logistically. Especially when, at the time of our conversation, he didn't even have a confirmed track yet. In this episode, you'll hear about the mindset behind chasing something that might break you, the chaos behind planning an endurance event of this scale, and why Mason believes fear of failure is the very thing that keeps most people stuck. If you've ever wondered what happens when someone decides to test the absolute limits of the human mind and body, this conversation is for you. But before we get started, a word from our sponsor, Charm City Run. Charm City Run's Ultra Soul of the City 10K, presented by Kelly Benefits, is back. And it's better than ever before, with a brand new date and a brand new look, but the same soul. April 25th is the day Baltimore runs together. Starting and ending in Harbor Point, the Ultra Soul of the City 10K, presented by Kelly Benefits, features a beautiful course along Baltimore's Inner Harbor and surrounding communities at the height of spring. Awesome race premiums, an amazing post-race party, drinks, and snacks, and a DJ await you once you cross the finish line. Charm City Run is offering friends of the podcast a 10% discount. Just use the code Nikki10 at checkout. That's NICKY, the number 10 at checkout. Hey, Mason, welcome to the Maybe Running Will Help podcast. Thank you so much for your time today.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
So, do you think that your mustache helps you be like a better runner?
I would say so. It for sure gives me superpowers, without a doubt.
That's a pretty solid facial hair right there. How long have you had that?
I started growing, what was it? I guess technically like the end of 2023. It started as a joke. So the
That's how
story
all
behind
good
the
things
mustache.
begin, yeah.
So story behind the mustache is I went out to school for my clinical rotations out in Missouri, and I didn't know anyone there. Most of the people in the program were from the area and knew each other and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of like this random dude that was coming from Utah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to grow out I'm going to like have my hair long. I'm going to grow a mustache. And then on graduation day, I'm going to shave my mustache. I'm going to shave my head. And so
Okay.
that no one would recognize me. It was just like this long con joke is what it was supposed to be. And then the mustache kind of became a thing, and I actually liked the mustache, so I kept
Yeah,
it.
that's so
And
funny.
kept the hair. The hair still, I kept it all.
What is the hair, like a mullet, or is it like full on
It's like
grown out?
modern mullet-esque.
Okay.
Not really a mullet, but like kind of.
Do you know that a mullet is the most aerodynamic haircut? It makes you faster.
Must be why I'm so good at running.
That's it. That's it. Well, first of all, have you found a track? Like, what's going on with the track?
Kind of. It's not ideal. I'm still waiting on a few people and a few things.
Uh,
Um, Something better might come through, but as of now, I have a solution, and that's what matters.
yeah. I'm shocked that no, social media is amazing, right? And with people sharing it and stuff, I'm just shocked. Nobody has a connection.
Yeah, so a lot of people have had connections. So one of the problems that I'm having is that it's track season. So a lot of the schools that have been willing have track meets.
Yeah.
And so
Okay. Yeah.
I end up with that issue. Um,
Okay.
the next issue is I think people don't can't literally cannot grasp what I'm about to do. And so when I tell them what I'm doing, they can't even conceptualize it. And so then
Mm.
they just shut it down and don't even give me the option or time of day to even talk about it. So it's this like weird, which I get, like this is an insane thing. And so when I try and explain to them, the logistics of it and trying to explain to them, like, hey, I don't need to rent your facility. Like, I don't need to take everything over. Like, I just need a lane. I just like all
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. People just, I've noticed that it's almost like people have legitimately gotten frustrated with me
Oh,
as I've
no.
tried
Okay.
explaining some of these things. And I think
Yeah.
part of it is literally, I mean, trying to conceptualize 1,000 miles to begin with is insane. And then trying to conceptualize someone running 1,000 miles is even more insane. And then trying to conceptualize someone running 1,000 miles around a track. Like these are, that's what I'm getting. I could be wrong. I am like
Mhm.
speaking for people here, but that's kind of the
Mhm.
vibe that I've gotten from the other no's. Um,
Yeah.
it's just
Okay.
been a nightmare to say the least.
That's crazy. And so just to backtrack a little bit, that this is how I know about you is you're doing this major challenge, 1,000 miles around a track over, is it how many days? 15,
15 is
15
my goal.
days? Okay. April 20th to May 4th. So coming up on that now. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've been hit with some challenges along the way, which is always to be expected, right? Like as a runner, like
Yeah.
as this problem solving is like one of the skills you learn, especially with
Yes.
the kind of running you're doing. Um, but I kind of wanted to go back to last year, last April, which is when you did your run across Utah. Um, is there a reason that the challenges are in April? Is there any reason behind that? Or it just,
Weather's a big thing.
yeah,
I don't wanna do it in the fall. I couldn't do this in the fall. With football, absolutely not. Like, there's no way I could, do something like this in the fall time. And then in Utah, the summer, I mean,
yeah.
it'd be anywhere
Could
from
be,
80 to
yeah,
110.
nightmare,
It's a
yeah.
weather thing.
It's a weather
So, it
thing?
really comes
Okay.
down to weather. So, it just has happened to be April.
Okay, that makes sense. Football, sorry, what do you do with football? Are you coach or
Oh,
do you
no,
play or
it's
what?
like this one in particular with the track. Football
Oh,
season, there's
okay.
no way I would be able to find a track anywhere with football season.
I
Um,
see, okay.
Even like the tracks that don't get used, that
Mhm,
are, your empty public tracks, um, even those fields are being used during football seasons. And so they wouldn't allow me, no one would allow me to use anything. So this one in particular, it was that was number one logistical hurdle. And then again, it just is a weather thing in Utah. I could have done
okay,
October of last year,
yeah.
but I don't know, April sounded better.
You already had a really busy year last year, so that would've been a lot. Um, so, I mean, because I was thinking, I'm like, "How hard is it to get a track?" Like, maybe you thought that too when you were thinking of it. I was just thinking,
Oh,
like,
I thought
I
this was gonna
break
be
into
so
tracks all
easy.
the time. I, like, go hop the fence, like, pretty much every track run I do. I was like, maybe it's a matter of, like, safety and, like, because you're gonna just be running, like, through the night and everything, right? Like, it's gonna be, like,
No,
just
I will
no?
sleep. I will
Uh-huh.
sleep.
Okay.
I'll sleep 6 hours a night. Uh,
Okay.
it's necessary.
Yeah.
You can't run this long and this far for that long. Uh, I think the longest, like, continuous run is, like, 600 miles. Um
Yeah.
and it still technically isn't continuous, but,
Yeah.
from, like, the standards of ultra running, it's continuous. This is I mean, I'd set a world record if I did this continuously, which I'm not opposed to, but I also know, like, if breaking it by 400 miles would be, quite the feat.
Yeah, yeah. No, I, like, totally get you need to sleep, is it but you're going, like, home and sleeping and coming back or, like,
No, so I'll sleep
sleeping
there
there?
in a trailer, which
Okay.
that's been part of the logistical hurdle is
Yeah.
where I live, there's no tracks really nearby.
Yeah.
Um So everything is far enough away, and I have to run long enough during the day that we would have to wake up at 3 a.m. or every day
Mm,
to be able to logistically get places, do what we need to do in the morning. So I kind of have to sleep within 5 minutes of
gotcha.
wherever I'm doing this. Uh,
Okay, that makes sense.
that's been a logistical hurdle that I've been trying to get over as well. I really didn't think like running across the state of Utah, you would think would be way more logistically difficult than running
Yeah,
around a track. This
absolutely.
has been
Yeah.
10 times worse. I would
That's
this it'd be easier to plan a run across America than this.
which is how this started, right? This all started because
Yeah.
that's what you wanted to do, right?
Yep. Uh-huh. And now it's funny because I'm, like, not overly drawn to doing it,
Yeah.
um,
But
just
that's
because of
sometimes
the logistics.
yeah. That's like how it happens sometimes. You have this goal, but then like that's kind of like, the vision, but you get, sidetracked here and there and end up eventually where you're meant to be. So it's led to all these like different things. But none of these things are like you don't just wake up one day and like I'm gonna run across Utah. Like they take a lot of planning. Do you like enjoy the planning part?
Usually, this one I have not,
Yeah.
um, this one I have not. This is again, it's just every single issue that could have possibly arose during this has happened. There hasn't
Yeah.
been anything. I mean, quite honestly, from the planning process, there hasn't been anything that's gone even
Hmm.
not even according to plan, like, just hasn't even gone positively.
It's
Um,
yeah. It's
so
just so
it's been
crazy.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's been
like
rough, and it go ahead,
no, I
sorry.
was just gonna say, like, you would think, like you said, like, coordinating everything with running across Utah would be harder. Like, this is like you're in one spot, right? So everybody just has to be in this one area. It just seems like it's just the issues that you've run into. I'm sure have just been such a shock
Y
all of it.
yeah, it's just been like I mean, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. Um,
Yeah.
it's just I don't and it's frustrating, like, I beat myself up because
Mm.
I think like, "Well, what have I done wrong?" Like, because I've been training and planning for this for 6 months. You can ask my wife, like, this is what I do when I get home. Like, I work all day, I train all day, I go home and I work on this. It's this never ending process for months and months on end. She hates it when I do this stuff because it
Yeah.
takes away from us because I spend countless days and hours working on this stuff. So it's been really frustrating the amount of time and effort that I've put into it. And with basically nothing to show for it other than me being physically fit enough to do this. Thankfully, the
Yeah.
training's gone relatively smooth. I had a small ankle injury a couple of weeks ago, and then I got sick the final week of training. Um, but besides that, I mean, you're always going to run into that kind of stuff. Besides
Yeah.
that, at least the training has thankfully gone pretty smooth. Um, but the actual planning process has been an absolute nightmare.
What does like training even look like for something like this? Is it like training for an ultra, essentially?
Yes, so it's funny because when you look at my weekly mileage, it doesn't look any different than training for like a 100 miler.
Hmm.
The difference is that I never took days off. I never
For
took days
this,
off.
you
Like,
don't. Yeah, not one day. Yeah,
no, I
gotcha.
took a total like when I got sick and when I got
Hmm.
injured, and then I
Yeah.
took in a 5-month period, I took a total of 3 days off.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and even on those days off, I was in the gym lifting. So it was like pretty much every day was 10 to 15 miles every single day
Hmm.
for weeks and weeks and
Yeah.
weeks on end. It just so that was the big difference where instead of a bunch of these big runs,
Yeah.
you would do for a 100 miler, you run only 2 or 3 days a week, but you're running, 25, 30 mile
Hmm.
runs.
Right.
This was just this compounding, like just basically building up the durability in my legs.
Yeah.
And then at the end of a week after running 10, 10, 15, 10, 12, I would then go do a 30-mile run. And then the next day go
Uh,
run 10 miles again. So that's kind of how this training block went, where it was like all of these like medium-ish runs back to
yeah.
back to back to back. And then in the middle of it, I would just throw a massive day in and then the next day go out and run again. And that's just kind of how and it's worked. Like I did a simulation runs. It was several runs. It was just 2 days where I did a 33 and a 40-mile run, and it really wasn't. I could have very easily gone and ran another 40 miles after I finished that the next.
Gotcha. And like comparing to your training for Utah, like is it similar?
Yeah, my training for Utah was a mess. I got really, really sick, um, and was sick for like almost a month. Um, and then uh, I got injured and was down for almost a month. My training for Utah was bad. I didn't even break set. I had 2 70-mile weeks. That's it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about how Utah came to be. You wanted to do a run across America and then you decided to do Utah as like part of that, correct? Is that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
what happened?
It was like a training, not act. It wasn't actually a training run, but it was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do this so that I have an
Right.
understanding of what the next step's going to be.
Gotcha. How did this 1,000 miles around a track like come in? Like where did that idea come from?
Yeah. So, obviously, this all started wanting to run across America. And so I did the run across Utah and realized like, A, I don't know if I want to plan a run across America right now.
Hmm.
I also now have an opportunity to like travel and have some fun with this a little bit. I wanted to, uh, why not, go run across the UK? Why not run around, run the length of Italy? Why not run, the Northern Mediterranean? Like do these like big things like that before I do the big thing, you know,
Hmm.
because I'm not running the length of Africa. It's just, I'm not doing
Just
that.
not
So the
doing that.
only other thing that's really bigger than that, that's realistic, is running across America. So it's like it is the big run.
Yeah.
And so like if I did that next and it's like, okay, cool, what comes after that? And obviously, there's plenty to do, but I kind of wanted to just like have a little bit of fun with it. And then I started planning a run across the UK, land or John O'Groats to Land's End, which is 1,100 miles. And I had the route planned. I had it ready to go, or not ready to go, but as pretty much ready before you dive into the actual logistics of it. And my mindset is very much of like, I, I want to, I want to challenge myself. I don't want to just do something. And I mean, I want to run across the UK or run the length of the UK. I want to run the length of Italy. I want to do these things, but first I want to do something that's going to genuinely challenge and push my mind to beyond its limits. I know I can run another cross. I know I can run across another state or country.
Hmm.
That's not, I have no doubt that I can do that. And so
Yeah.
why do something that I know that I can do when I can do something that I don't think I can do? And so I was like, I was like, what's something that could fail?
Right.
What's something that could
Yeah.
genuinely fall apart under my feet, literally and figuratively? And I started thinking, and I saw Ned Brockman do his run around a track back in 2021, and I think I kind of like planted that seed because I was like, a track, like
Yeah.
it's insane. It's an insane feat. I'll be the fourth human in the history of humanity to have done this.
Yeah, it's so monotonous and, like, it's just, like, I feel like the only thing worse would be, like, a treadmill.
Yeah, I almost did that considering how finding a track has been. It was because
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the gym that I own right now. I almost just did it here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that would be worse, I think. So, I saw a post that you had the end of maybe it was the end of last year, November of last year, and you, um, asked ChatGPT to give you, like, real hard truth. You said, "Stop being agreeable and act as my brutally honest high-level advisor and mirror." Like, what do you use ChatGPT for, and how has that, like, helped with your life?
Yeah, I have actually stopped using chat as of recently.
Okay.
Um, but in the past, basically generating anything that has to do with business, there's enough that I'm doing that it's nice to sometimes use an AI tool to help assist in whatever process that I'm trying to complete. And something that I was noticing is it just hyped me up. It didn't matter
Yeah.
what I did.
Always. Yeah.
It was always like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great idea." And I'm like, I don't like, I'm trying to get your advice. Like, I
Right.
like, I'm trying to get, a better insight into what this is. And so I
Yeah.
realized that like chat is just a dumb hype man.
Mhm.
Doesn't like if you don't teach it to, actually help you, it's just gonna give you the answers you want to hear. Because that's what I mean, that's like anything.
Mhm.
Anything is built that's trying to make some sort of money, a lot of the times people are just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what these AI models are is, it's they're trying to get you to continue to come back to use their product. So of course they're going to create something that, is going to tell you what you want to hear. So I gave it a prompt that was, a mile
Y
long
yeah.
and was like, this is everything you're going to do and don't do anything different. And so it basically, and it was funny because it asked me, "Are you sure?" That was like the
Oh, it
first thing that it
did?
said. Yes. It was like, "Are you
Wow.
sure you wanna do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, like, I do. Let's send it." And so, this was at the beginning of, me. I had been using chat to help, just, like, come up with some logistical things, some social media strategy for the 1,000 miles and talking about some of the details, and it knows a lot about the gym that I own. It knows, obviously the social media side of things. It knows about my dietetic practice because again, I use it for all of these different things,
Right.
and it instantly just ripped apart everything. And it actually like I was like taken back because I was like, what the like what is this?
Yeah.
Um, but it has helped me. It really has helped me take better control of my life.
Yeah.
It's helped me just find a better cohesive flow to everything that I'm doing. One of the biggest things that it told me that I was doing wrong is that I'm trying to do everything when like I don't have the bandwidth to do so. Where basically like I'm trying to, and that this ties back to a whole bunch of different things in my life, but I'm trying to be the best at everything.
Mhm.
When in reality, when I'm trying, everything that I'm doing in my life are all very big things. Running 1,000 miles, this is a massive thing.
Yeah.
Owning a gym is a massive thing. Like I'm doing all of these very, very big, grand life achievements, goals, whatever you want to call it, and trying to beyond excel at all of them, trying to be the absolute best at all of them, which is just a part of my personality. I can't half do something.
Right.
And chat has helped me kind of take a step back and understand that like if I'm going to do these things, something has to be the priority.
Yeah.
And so, um, I talked with my business partners and we talked about this stuff. And so, like with the gym, I just do, the general gym management stuff. I make sure that the gym is running. I take care of it. I keep it clean, that type of stuff. And then they kind of manage a lot of the other things. Um, and and when this is done, I'll take all that back on. But it was basically this understanding that I need to be better. I need to be better at relying on others to help me.
Mhm.
I've never been good at that.
Yeah.
And so it actually helped me a ton with doing that. And then, which has made me better in all aspects of my life. So I don't remember what I'm sure I could find the prompt if I dug through chat. I'll have to
Yeah, I
send it to you
I
if I can
I
find
have
it.
it. No,
Oh,
I
perfect.
printed it out. I was like, "That's wild," because I like ChatGPT. I don't know if you stopped using it for environmental reasons, like, I think about that, but, like, I like to write my own stuff, like, I love to write, so I don't want anything that I'm writing to seem, like, AI generated, but I do use it because I like it for the like, you're talking about the pattern recognition, like, if it knows, like, the stuff that you're doing and knows who you're talking to or, like, whatever, that's what it's for, right? Like, it's really good at recognizing patterns, and so I really like how you used it there. I'm, like, kinda scared, but I don't know. I think I might have to try it out. That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
it's one. It doesn't stop. Like once you start that, it never stops. So every time you ask it something, it it will tell you everything wrong with what you're doing.
Okay, I don't
Um,
know if I need that. I feel like I'm
yeah,
hard enough on myself. Yeah.
unless it's a good idea. If it's a good
Uh,
idea,
uh-huh.
it will like it'll actually tell you if it's something that's viable.
Yeah.
Um, what was it? Oh yeah, I came up with so the gym is attached to a physical therapy clinic, and part of our marketing has to do with the physical therapy clinic. So I was trying to come up with a better like client acquisition process of how to better funnel people from the physical therapy clinic into the gym into personal training. So I came up with this whole idea, and this is what I use. Chat. I refuse to let AI generate ideas for me.
Okay, yeah.
So I came up with this idea of generally how to create this funnel, gave it to chat and was like, is this something that makes sense? And
Mm,
if it is, how can we compound on this? And, it told me like, this is a phenomenal idea. These are where the holes are, and this is how you fill it.
wow.
Um, where like I've had other ideas for like different marketing strategies, and it's straight up been like, no, that's dumb. Don't do that. Um,
Yeah,
so the prompt is really nice because if it hypes you up, it's
yeah,
legit.
it's
It's
legit. Yeah.
not just whatever.
It's so weird though, because like, do you think about like where it's getting like to say like whether it's good or bad, but like it's got so much information because it's taking everybody, all the information it's getting, and then it can use that to like scientifically be like that's a good idea or bad idea based on like actually what's worked for other people or whatever.
Well, and
It's
I think
wild.
this is where AI has kind of broke is humans are dumb. We're not very smart. And it's funny because when you look at the early models of ChatGPT versus the models now, Chat is significantly more dumb than it was in the beginning
Well, that's so funny. I see what
because
where
we
you're going
have
with this.
literally trained it to
Trained
be
it.
dumb.
Dumb.
And
Right.
something
Yeah.
I've seen like with the hype man stuff, because OpenAI, they could have, reprogrammed it to not be a hype man. And that's where I bring up like, you know, that like they are trying to make money off of it because they could have
Mhm.
stopped that. They've chosen not to. And I think they've pretty much openly said these things. Um, but one of the things with it is I think it shows the mindset of a lot of most people
Mhm.
of that unwillingness to uh, be able to take criticism, unwillingness to be able to push themselves.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think it's a lack of ability. I think it's an unwillingness or my wife hates when I say lazy because she's a therapist, but I really think it's just laziness.
Yeah.
People are undriven. And I think we can see that through our AI models that we use. Because when
Hmm.
you don't have these prompts in place,
Mhm.
chat will help, like, it basically feeds those behaviors
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's what people want. People
Huh.
like it, that those behaviors are being reinforced because people have continued to tell chat that they're doing these things.
Right.
And then if chat has ever, I don't know if it ever rebutted early on, but if it ever rebutted, people probably lashed back. And then it's just
Oh.
created this perpetual, because we have trained it.
Mhm.
Like we have trained these bots. All of that
Yeah.
information that is comes from us.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so it's I think it really shows human nature and who kind of what has become of our society, which is really sad. But
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought about that, but I have noticed that it's like I don't I half the time it gives me stuff and I'm like, no, I can do this better. Maybe around the same time or close to it, you also talked about the big ass calendar. Is that around the same time you started like using the cat? Is this the first time 2025 or
no, I had
26 when you use
been,
the
yes,
calendar?
this is the first year that I've used it.
Okay.
Chat wasn't the reason for that. I've been wanting to get it for years and I finally was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy it. And I know it'll." And
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
the visualization. Like, I don't exactly use it to plan out my day to day. I don't think I use it the way that it's intended to be used.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, it's the visualization
Hmm.
of time.
Same. Yeah.
I just in the past, in so like kind of a little bit of a backstory. I haven't had a lot of role models through my life. I've
Hmm.
had my mom, and that's one of the few that have existed in my life. Never really had male role models outside of football coaches. My dad wasn't around. My stepdad passed away. So I never really had. I've just kind of had to figure it out myself for the majority of my life, and so I've a lot of observation over time of just trying to observe like people who are doing things right, people who are successful, what are they doing? People who are unsuccessful, people who are failing, what are they doing?
Hmm.
And so a lot of just that observation, kind of piecing things together over time. And one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of people, successful and unsuccessful, is and I noticed it in my own life happening, is lack of intention with life.
Yes. Uh-huh.
There's a complete
Yeah.
people just they just go through the motions. And
Mhm.
again, this is successful and unsuccessful people. I don't think going through the motions is particularly a negative thing. I think there's a time and a place for it, but it's when it becomes it becomes habitual, and that's where it can become a problem. It can damage relationships. It can damage, if you're a business owner, it can damage businesses. It can damage you in the workplace. Like uh, and you also look at, brain studies of habitual patterns can actually, especially when it becomes like the almost cyclical nature, we're
Mhm.
actually noticing that repetitive patterns over time actually lead to more onset or a higher onset of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh my god, I'm so scared. Yeah. Yeah, I'm terrified of
Doing
that. Yeah.
things, doing things, being more intentional, breaking those patterns, whether it's traveling, whether it's whatever, it can be anything. As long as you're breaking those patterns, it helps reduce that over time.
Oh, it's so
And
interesting.
so basically where my mind was like, I just need to start being more intentional. When I was in school, it was go through the motions, get it done, which I think at that time was necessary. But a
Mhm.
whole year and a half of my life just did that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened?
Mhm.
And my wife and I moved, we bought an RV after I graduated, and we lived on the California coast for a couple, like 4 months, just driving up the coast. And, it, while I was there, I was doing a little bit of work, but I'd been in school for 10 years. And so it was kind of like, you know, we have some money. Let's just like relax for a bit before we kind of hit this next phase of life. Um, and it helped me start to be more intentional and under like observing, more and more around me. And then running across Utah, I was like, you know what? If I'm doing this, I'm going to do it. I'm not just going to go put on my shoes and go through the motions and get the miles done. I want to experience this as fully as possible. So I didn't listen to music. I didn't use caffeine. I
Oh.
didn't take ibuprofen. Like I raw
You wanted to
dogged
feel
that
it
run.
all. Yeah.
Yes. And so there were a few moments I listened to music here and there,
Mhm.
just to like, but they were like little, I think I listened to maybe an hour of music the entire run.
Man.
Um, and it was key moments. Like I listened to Johnny Cash at one moment, and I listened to some classical music on one day. And then at the very end, I listened to some music going through the finish line. But
Okay.
uh, I didn't, again, I wanted to experience it. I wanted to sit and feel and be intentional with everything. And that run has completely changed my perspective of just like time and being intentional. So everything that I do, and I think it's made me almost a more emotional person because I'm so invested in everything that I do, even the
Mhm.
little things. And I
Mhm.
think that's why the planning of this run has taken more of an emotional toll on me because I'm really invested and intentional with everything that I'm doing. And that's what this calendar is for,
Yeah.
is I want to see how many days have passed. I want to see, I mean, it's really not like when you look at this, like it's not very much time.
Yeah.
365 boxes on a piece of paper, essentially. It's not a lot. And so it really helps you be so much more intentional and, at least again for me, more intentional with my days and the understanding of how limited time is and
Right.
how easily we can waste it.
Yeah, and, like, where you're spending your time. Like, for me, I am having, like, a surgery, and it's really freaking me out, but putting it on, like, this calendar, I it doesn't seem like that much of the year. So, like, just all kinds of perspective with time. It's super helpful. And what you were saying about intention, I feel like I was just really spontaneous. So, like, I wasn't thinking about stuff I was doing, and I would just be, like, signing up for stuff, but not thinking about it. And just kind of being really impulsive. And so that's where like the intention for me became important, to stop being so like impulsive and really think about stuff before I sign up and do them, which is what I'm trying to do this year. So like
Well,
intention
I'm
is
still
like,
in
yeah.
very impulsive,
Okay.
but I'm intentional with it.
Well, but you can't be super that impulsive if I mean, because there's so much planning that goes into these things. So, well, I guess you can be impulsive and say you're going to do it and then figure out the details later. Maybe that's kind of like how you roll.
Yeah. That's how a lot of my year was last year. I didn't know what was going to happen after I ran across Utah. Same thing with this. I don't have any races planned for the rest of the year. because
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I might break my
Oh,
leg, like,
don't say that.
I
Yeah.
don't know, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and
Yeah.
so I'm not planning anything because I don't know.
Right.
Um, and so that's kind of like last year, and this year I feel like will fall I do wanna do a 100 miler towards the end of the year, but I
Mhm.
need to finish this first before
Yeah,
before
before you
we
move to the
plan that
next
one.
thing.
Because
Yeah.
fun fact, I have never run an official 100 miler, but I have run across an entire state.
Are you
Um,
serious?
yep,
Wow.
but,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah, I don't get it, but, um, basically, like, I just last year, I just kinda, like, was like, "Let's just see what the body does," and I felt great. The day after I finished running across Utah, I was like, "Alright, well, let's run the Salt Lake City Marathon." So a week later, I ran the Salt Lake City Marathon, and then
Wow.
right after that, I ran a sub 4 hour marathon
Yep.
right after, which is crazy. And then after that, I was like, "Well, the body still feels good. I've always wanted to do an ultramurph. Let's do an ultramurph." So
That's
I went and
crazy.
planned out this whole thing, found a local gym that I could do this at, and ran and did 7 Murphs in 12 hours. And then after that, it was my wife's family was going to Catalina Island. So I was like a month and a half later, um, I figured out the route to run across Catalina Island, and I ran across Catalina Island. It was like 38 miles or whatever. Um, and then it was then I had, I didn't really have anything in between there. I don't remember if I did anything else in between there. And then I went and crewed for a friend running a 100 miler.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
while I was there, some of my other friends were running a 50 miler of like it was like 3 weeks later. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds fun." And they're like, "You should come run." I'm like, "All right." So I signed up for it. 3 weeks later, drove down and ran a 50 miler in Moab. Um, but it was, but that's just how like my whole, but that's where the intention of the impulsivity
Right.
is like, when I did these things, it was more out of like, let's see what the body can do.
Yeah.
Let's like, how far can I go this year?
Mhm.
Uh, and how much can I do this year? And so everything that I did, I was very intentional with. And when I finished Catalina Island, I knew I needed a break, so I took a bit of a break. And then that 50 miler popped up, and I went and did that. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it was a lot of everything that I was doing. Again, there was still a lot of intention, even though I was just like marathon in 1 week. Oh, let's go do an ultra murph. Haven't trained for that at all. Let's,
Right.
uh, but again, just being very intentional with all of these things. And I had a lot of fun last year. I had a lot of fun last year.
I saw that. I mean, what's so crazy to me is I have historically been like a marathon runner. Like if you're racing a marathon, you're not supposed to run more than 2 marathons a year. You need to recover. You like all of these like very strategic like run, recover things. And what the a lot of people like you that I'm talking to, like you, there's not that recovery. There's not that rest. It's just like you're pushing your body, and I think it's kind of helpful because I think we can be a little bit obsessive about the training, about doing everything right and making sure that we get exactly the right amount of training days in and then rest days and doing, but like what you guys are doing is like you'll be all right. Like you're not, you know what I
It's
mean?
going to work
Like
out.
it's gonna be okay. Like,
Well, and
it's
I mean,
crazy.
it shows the power of the human body.
Hmm.
I set a, I set a marathon PR a week after running 420 miles.
Which would be, like, unheard of. Like, you run a marathon, you're supposed to take, like, a month off,
No, I
but here
don't
you
believe
are.
in that. I
Yeah.
don't believe in that. Like I've seen that where it's like you're supposed to take like 1 day off for like every
Yeah,
mile of a
exactly.
race. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not taking a month off after running a marathon. That's a joke. Like,
Right.
because I know how far the body can go.
Yeah,
And
you've
it's like,
tested it.
why not push it? And you don't
Yeah.
have to. This is one thing that I think people misunderstand with, the David Goggins of the world, hearing me
Mm,
running 1,000 miles is you don't have you don't have to want to do it.
mhm,
Like you don't have to want to do these things. I don't
mhm,
think there's anything wrong with not wanting to run 100 miles. I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to run 1,000 miles. But what matters is that you have the understanding that you can do these things.
right.
Everybody can do these things. And I think at some point in your life, you need to do something that challenges you beyond. comprehension. Something that genuinely seems completely impossible,
Mhm.
and you do it and you go for it and see, let's just see what happens. Like, and it's a
Yeah.
matter of it's all in the mind, and there has to be a moment in your life that you are doing these things, or else just again it then you just your life just happens.
Is
And
it
it doesn't
like
have to be running, it can be anything.
sure. Do you think it's like for people like you who are doing these like amazing things, is it like to be like nothing can stop, like you're unbreakable, like you're doing like the craziest things you can think of?
Yes, but not, I think, in the context that you're maybe thinking. Like
Okay.
it's the mind. It's the understanding
Conquering
that
the mind.
the
Okay.
mind cannot, the mind, if you continue to go, the mind can't be broken. If you tell your mind, if you give it the middle finger
Yeah.
and you tell it like, and you tell it, I'm going to keep going, you're going to keep going. And so that's the physical, I want to be broken. I want to hit a point that breaks me.
Right.
And that's kind of what I'm searching for. Like, I know I'm not invincible. I know that I know these things. I know that I can be broken,
Mhm.
but the mind can keep going. The mind can't be
Yeah.
broken. And that's where uh I think that's, and maybe that's where you were getting at, but it comes down to the mind, of the understanding that the mind can't be broken. You genuinely can go so much further than you think.
Do you think that, like, aside from running, like, that's something you battle in your mind? Like, there's a battle, like, that you've had before, like, whether it's, like, running and trying to push yourself, but, like, are you trying to, like, fight other voices in your head or anything like that, like, through running
In
and
the
doing these
past,
things?
yeah.
Yeah.
In the past, 100%. In the past, I was running away from things.
Mhm.
Um, and now I've learned that it's like you gotta run towards it.
Yeah,
You're never
right.
running away from the finish line.
Yeah.
And so that's
Yeah.
what this is it's like, you know what? No, like, we're gonna run at these things. And it's helped me process a lot. Like running across Utah, when you are alone with your mind for
That's what I
that
was gonna
long,
say. Yeah, how do you not, like,
you
discover
process it
things?
all.
Yeah.
You process it all. And so I was able to process a lot, and I'm the happiest that I've ever been. Um, and it's just now it's funny because I don't actually know how to explain it now. Because in the past it was very easy to explain that, like,
Mhm.
I wanna feel these things. I want to uh experience these things because of what had happened to me before. And
Mhm.
now that I've processed it, now it's like this mindset of like, just how far can I go?
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain. I don't think I've figured out how to explain it yet.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like this morning, the G1M Ultra started today, and I have a client who's running it, and I've been seeing a lot of people posting about it who are running it and different things. And there's like two or three people who have posted that, like, they're there to win, and everyone else is just kind of like, like, let's see how far we can go. Like 100 miles is the goal, and I don't understand that mindset. Why not go to win?
Okay.
You might not win,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
why not go there with the intention to win?
Hmm. Fear?
Because we all have, I think that's I think a big part of it comes down to the fear of failure. Where if you set
Mhm.
a goal of 100
Yeah.
miles,
Mhm.
I hit 100 miles, I didn't fail.
Mm.
And I think that sums it up perfectly. I think there is the fear of failure. Fear of failure will stop you from everything. And with this 1,000 miles, 66 and a half miles a day for 15 days,
Mm.
that is egregious.
Yeah.
It's borderline impossible.
Mhm.
I'm aware of this. I am
Right.
fully aware that I could
Yeah.
get to day 3 and fail
Mhm.
my goal.
Yeah.
Like, but I have I don't have a fear of that. I don't care if people rip me apart on social media. I don't care
Yeah.
if I don't have that fear of failure. And so, like, if I was going to if I was going to this backyard ultra right now, I would
Mhm.
be there with the intention to win.
Yeah.
Even if I
Yeah.
didn't win, that would be my intention, is
Mhm.
I am not quitting until the course takes me out or I win.
It's almost like you seek it out because you learn so much when you fail. Like, I feel like I
You
don't learn
It's
my
the greatest
lesson
teacher.
until I, like, fail or something terrible. Like, it's the only way I learn.
Yeah.
Um,
My
so
wife sometimes will, she she'll just be like, "I don't understand how you do this," or, I'll plan events or different things, and she's like, "I don't understand how you do this. Like, are you not scared people aren't gonna show up?" And I'm like, "I don't care if I just
yeah. What Yeah,
gotta
right?
try. And if
That
no
I
one shows
mean,
up, whatever."
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
that
so
sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't
I
suck,
it's
but,
right.
like,
Yeah, it's a
failing
little
sucks.
embarrassing, but yeah.
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 Failing sucks. I
Yeah.
like, it's and I think this is, again, this goes back to, like, the David Goggins mindset. Anybody in that realm, there's this it's people think that this stuff almost I suck is maybe the wrong word, but, like, it sucks. It
Mhm.
hurts.
Mhm.
You don't want like, I don't want to fail. I don't wanna feel failure.
Right.
It's terrible. It's uncomfortable. It's embarrassing. Like, there's, if, in this 1,000 miles, like, I let's just say there's like a DNF. Let's say I make it to, 630 miles and I DNF
Yeah.
because if something happens.
Mhm.
That's embarrassing.
Mhm.
Like, I have now, I've put all this out there. I have put my image on the line. I have put all this out there that I'm going to do this with full confidence that I'm going to do this in a set time and yada, yada, yada. And maybe I don't hit my set time. Maybe I don't finish, whatever. It's embarrassing. Again, it hurts, it sucks, but I'm not afraid to feel that
Right. That's so
because
important.
that fear is going to, if I was afraid of that, then I wouldn't have ever done this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
like
that's what
facing
holds
that.
people back.
Yeah, that uncomfortableness with that, and, like, you have to challenge that. That's why, like, instead of like, whatever you're avoiding, go towards that. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid of it. This gym, this gym that I'm sitting in, it was very expensive to start this gym.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of overhead with stuff like
Mhm.
this. It's now it's a calculated risk. That's one thing, is you have to take calculated risks. You can't just be like, I'm going to go do this thing and then realize, like,
Die.
it has to be feasible. There is
Yeah.
still the logistics of life that, like, if I could only charge $10 a month for a gym membership and my overhead was 10 grand a month, that's not,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. Like, this gym financially makes sense, and the demographic, like, I went through all of this. Like, it
Sure.
makes sense to have this gym, but it's still a massive risk.
Mhm.
It's a massive risk. But I'm not afraid to fail. I've had
Mhm.
other businesses in the past that were risks
Yeah.
and they have failed. I have had several businesses fail,
Yeah.
but that fear stops you from everything. I know we're just, like, beating a dead horse here, but I
No,
can't emphasize it enough that
I know,
fear of
it's
failure is the reason people aren't successful.
no, I get it. I feel like, um, it's like what is when you think have anxiety or something like that, you think of like you're worrying about something, and well, what's the worst that could happen? And then you have to like think about that, and it's like, well, I'd figure it out. And basically, you're just putting that to the test. Like,
You're not going to die.
what's the worst that can happen? You'll figure it out. You'll be okay. You'll figure it out. You know. Um, what was like before Utah? Uh, what what was like your life or running like? Was it as intense, or was that the like most intense thing? Like, what was it like before that?
Yeah. So, I used to be a football player back in the
Hmm.
day. I used to weigh 285 pounds. Got into Spartan races. My wife got me into running. Um, got into Spartan races, got really good at it, raced as a pro for a bit,
Wow.
raced in the 2019 World Championship. And
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
eh, yeah, I had a lot of fun with that back in the day. And then COVID hits.
Right.
Obviously, throws everything for a loop. So I don't know what else to do. So I'm like, oh, let's run the Grand Canyon. Oh, let's run Utah's tallest
Hmm.
peak. And so then I dive into this side of things of, like, "Mm, I don't know, let's go do this." So then I get into the ultra world. I run my first official ultra. It was a 90K that turned into a 100K because I got lost.
Oh,
but I had a
shit, that
yeah,
sucks.
yeah, I had a devastating injury during that race.
Oh, no.
Um, and I got told by 3 doctors that I would never run again. And if I ran again, that I would basically be hobbling like an old man for the rest of my life. I tore my
What?
posterior tib in my ankle. Even people that I knew, like you know, I had doctors in my circle of people that were telling me these things because it was such a
What?
bad injury. People who who knew who I was that I would still try, and obviously here we are.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but I got back into Spartan for a bit in 2022. 2021 was a wash.
Mhm.
2022, I get back into Spartan races because I'm like, it's my bread and butter. I'm comfortable with it. Like, let's get my mojo back. So I show up. I I place in the Utah race. I got second place in Hawaii. Was like, okay, cool. Mojo's back. Let's get back into ultra running. And then 2023 through now has just been almost like nonstop. It feels like, which I've enjoyed. I've really enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, and just like running, I was a poor college student, so I can't
Mm.
afford to go do Leadville. I can't afford to go do these races. So I'm like, well, let's go find a park. Let's run a
Mhm.
50K.
Yeah.
Let's go do this. Let's
Okay.
run 60 miles. Let's go do this. Let's run for 24 hours. It was all stuff that was doing myself because I was poor. I couldn't afford
Mhm.
to pay for these races. And so, uh, I was just doing it on my own. I would literally, when I was in my clinicals, I did 6 ultras in 6 months. Um, and literally would just go to the park near my house and would just run laps for 30 to 50
That's
miles.
so wild because, like, I feel like a lot of times people do these things for, like, the medal or for, like, to say they did these events, and, it's like, that's not at all what it was about for you,
Mm-mm.
which
No, I don't
is
really
yeah.
I like the accolades are obviously nice.
Yeah.
Um, I like I mean, you can see I've got like my shoes from Run Across Utah up on a shelf here. Like,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
I, uh, I like I do like the accolades. I have my medal shelf with my things.
Yeah.
Like I have my trophies. Like, it's still nice, but there is like, that's not what I do it for. Sure, the shiny medal's cool, but I
Yeah.
do it because I want to, I want to challenge myself. I want to
Yeah.
see how far I'm going to go. Um, it's funny. Like I think about some of these races and I even forget that I got a medal. I forget what the medal looks like.
Okay.
Like I don't really, you know, I don't really attach to those things because it's just like, I just,
Yeah.
yeah, I just like, I
Yeah.
want to push. I want to see how
Yeah.
far the mind can go. And one time when I was in school, literally on a Saturday morning, I woke up. I was, uh, I hate school. I can't believe I did it for 10
I'm
years.
with
I
you. I
hated
know.
school.
I don't know how you did it
Um,
either.
I really don't.
Mm.
And one day it was a Saturday. I just got done with like a 65, 70-hour work week of clinicals. Like I was
Mm.
absolutely wrecked. And I was just like, fuck this. I'm going to run a 50K. So that morning
Holy
I put
shit.
some Uncrustables in a lunchbox, went to the park, put the lunch, like I drove over to the park, Lunchables in my car, and then just ran laps. And just literally that morning, I just went and, just whipped out a 50K. And, because I was just like, I need to feel something because I was so numb.
That's
And
wild.
that was, there was some negative thought patterns along with those
Mm.
things.
Yeah.
But it was really just like, I need to push myself. I need to feel something. I need to remind myself that I can do these hard things, even though it's funny because I'm in clinical rotations going through, school and
Hell.
a master's
Yeah.
program. Like I'm going through all of this,
Yeah.
but I felt like I just needed to do more. I needed
Yeah.
to accomplish more, like for myself, and so I
Yeah.
just went and did this.
I
Um,
I was thinking, I wonder because I think about this for my own running, but like it's almost like if you've been through something where you've been forced to be uncomfortable out of your control, it's almost discomfort that you can like control yourself. Like, do you feel that at all? Like, as an aspect of like running or fitness or whatever, it's just like you've been through something and you couldn't control that. But this is a pain or something that you actually control and you choose. basically.
Yeah, so I have like 3 mantras, s sayings, whatever you wanna say, that I kinda repeat to myself that fall into this kinda fall into this. You versus you.
Mhm,
It's always you versus you. Doesn't
mhm,
matter. It does not matter if you have someone physically holding you. It's still you versus you.
mhm.
Pain is a mindset. And then the mantra that kind of fits into this a little bit more is own yourself.
Mm. Yeah.
I had in 2023, I had a really scary cardiac event.
Shit.
Um, and I was in the hospital for yeah. How long was I don't remember how long I was in the hospital for, but then I had to wear, like, a monitor for, like, 2 months, and I had to go do a bunch of stress testing, and I couldn't do stress testing at the hospital because they didn't have the equipment for me to do it, so, like, I had to wear all this mumbo jumbo and go run on trails, and, I had to get all these scans. I had to do all this stuff to figure out what was going on, and I'm obviously fine now. Everything worked out, but during that time, my anxiety was through the roof, and
Sure.
I felt so out of control
Mm.
because it was my heart. Like
Yeah.
you can't, like, if your heart goes, that's it, you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I felt so out of control. And I remember there was this run. I had to go do a stress test. Like I literally had these like scheduled runs that I have to go run like 4 miles as like
Mhm.
a stress test.
Hmm.
It was crazy. Um, and on this run, I started having a panic attack in the middle of it. And and then I just started repeating myself, like, own yourself, just like own your mind, own
Mhm.
yourself, like own your mind. And that kind of has become like this mantra of just like own yourself, like and it comes to the you versus you, control the controllables. It kind of falls into all of that, but it's just own yourself, own
Yeah.
your mind, own your body, know that you have control no matter what the situation is. You have
Yep.
some level of control, and it's yourself. You can
Yeah.
always control yourself.
Yeah.
It's helped that mantra. I used to have anger issues just from all my BS when I was younger. It's
Mhm.
calmed that down where I like,
Yeah.
I mean, that I really like that one because it's, again, it's controlling the controllables, and you can always control yourself.
That's really, really good. That's awesome. Are you still writing a book?
Yes, I am very
Okay. Yeah,
slowly
it's
writing a
like
book.
okay.
Um, this is why chat told me I'm an idiot because I do way too much all the time.
Okay.
It'll get finished when I finish this run. I was hoping to finish
Okay.
it before this run, but life happens.
Okay.
Uh, as
Can
in
you
I do
talk
too
about it
much.
or what it's about?
Yeah, yeah. So it's funny because it's about my run across Utah. And I'm going to write a book for this run as well.
Mm.
Um, a little bit different take on what that book will be, but this one it's kind of like a memoir, that is memoir self-help type of style, but basically every chapter is a day. So
Mhm.
chapter, it's day 0. So like I have a chapter 0 in my book. Chapter 0, day 0, which is before the running even starts, and talking about like my early childhood of the stuff that I went through, my dad going to prison and the domestic violence and the drug abuse and all that was going on in the house. And then day 1, chapter 1 jumps ahead a couple of years to some stuff that was going on there. And then day 2, chapter 2, and it goes on from there. Where every day of the run, I kind of talk about what happened on the run. I talk about my mindset. I talk about what I saw. Like it's basically a long form diary of what actually happened on the run. And then I then tie in, or the chapter starts with my life, then the run, and then there's like a summary of kind of how it all interconnects in the self-help side of things.
Oh, wow.
And I dive into like all of these major life events that have essentially happened. And then as I get to the end of the book, it starts to get into my more of my adult life of, uh, my running career and how things have evolved, my weight loss journey and all that stuff over
Mm.
time. All until basically like kind of the last chapter is almost right before the run actually starts. It kind of like, it's like this full circle thing.
Awesome.
It's, it's really cool. It's obviously not finished yet. But it'll be a fun read, and I think it's hard to it's hard to talk about, like, explain, like, your whole life story, and so I'm excited to have that for, if anybody wants to know about my life story, that will be there.
Yeah.
And then I already have the idea for the 1,000-mile book of something that has really, it's funny is I haven't even done it yet, but
Yeah.
everything that's happened, if I don't finish it, I'm not writing the book. Um,
Okay.
but uh, it's the basically it'll be like find your thousand of you don't have to want like we talked about at the beginning. You don't have to want to run 1,000 miles. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be this
Right.
extreme thing, but
Sure.
you've got to find something that challenges yourself. And so it'll basically be this self help book of like find your thousand,
Mhm.
find your thing that pushes you to your breaking point. And that's kind of what it'll be a little bit of a shorter book. Um, I think the Run Across Utah book's going to be like, I think it's like 350 pages, 400 pages,
Wow.
something like that.
So is
This one,
yeah.
this other one will be a little bit shorter, but
Do you think that writing the book or running across Utah was a more of a self-discovery journey?
the run, the book has helped me just like reflect on it better.
Yeah.
But the run was
Yeah,
for sure.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Again, it
have
was because
w
I was intentional with it. Or otherwise it would be the book.
Okay. Do you, have one, like, main takeaway that you learned about yourself during the Utah run? Or any main points?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was of finding out who I really was.
Who are
Like
you?
finding out just still a loaded question.
Right. Shouldn't have
I
said that.
think, yeah, a lot of, I don't ever want this to be, I even start the book with like, this is not a pity me. This is me
Mhm.
telling you my life story in the hope that it helps you find something in your life, helps you
Yeah.
discover a way to push yourself, anything like that. Like, this isn't me trying to be like, oh, I lived the hardest life. Like, you know,
Yeah.
someone's got it worse.
Mhm.
I had plenty of privileges. I was able to grow up in a nice area. Like I still had, plenty of, despite, like, living the life that we lived, like I still also, had a lot of positive things that happened in my life. And so, um, like someone always has it worse. And so like, that's where I always want to emphasize that this is not a pity me.
Yeah.
Um, you don't need to feel bad for me. Like
Mhm.
that's someone has it worse. Someone
Yeah.
always has it worse. But basically, with all the things that I experienced, I really found my wife always asks, I'm not the goofiest guy. I'm pretty logical. Everything that I do is pretty, straightforward, not black and white, but like, that's the easiest way to sum it up.
Mhm.
And she's always like, wanting me to have a little bit more fun and, you know, be a little more goofy. And, uh, I've had this discussion with her about not having an inner child.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like not there. And because I kind of had to step into a role at a very young age, I experienced things at a very young age that, uh, it was either you let it destroy you or
Mhm.
you don't. And if you
Huh.
don't, it's going to destroy something else. And I think for me, it destroyed that, like what we visualize as that inner child.
Yeah.
And something really resonated with me, or not even resonated with me. The thing that I discovered about myself was that and this is, I think it kind of shocks people when I say this, but my inner child is pain. My inner
Oh.
child is pain.
Hmm.
And I don't think now in my life, I don't think it's a negative. You know, I, and it sounds like it is because like
Yeah.
pain is a negative thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it has allowed me to become the person that I am. It has allowed me to be able to push my mind and my body to places that I think I wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
Hmm.
I think it has made me a better partner
Mhm.
because I think it's made me more empathetic. There's and not just partner, but friend. And, I really think I think it has actually been a positive in my life.
Yeah.
And it was a weird realization that I had.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny. It made my mom not upset, but like, she like when she heard me say that, she cried. And she like
Yeah.
blamed herself for that.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure, sure.
and I was like, no, like,
Mhm.
that's not your fault. Like, if anything, it's the men in my life. It's all, and,
Yeah.
the events that have happened with certain things. Uh, but again, it's not a negative thing.
Oh, your mom, I feel for her because I feel like as a mom, you want your kids to be all right and everything. But I also I like understand what you're saying. And I don't think it's like feeling sorry for yourself or just to acknowledge what you've been through and how it's shaped your life. You know what I mean? So
And I
it's
think
just
it's what's allowed me to survive
yeah, yeah.
and
So
now
it can
thrive.
yeah, it can be painful and feel like it has this negative thing, but it can also be a positive. And I really look forward to like reading about actually that in your book because that's a really interesting take on that and pain. So that's awesome. Um, how else can people follow you and stay in touch on this 1,000 miles? What's the best way to get the updates? Social media?
Follow me on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah.
Instagram's gonna be the place. Buff
Okay.
Runner. I'm also a
Buff
Buff
runner.
Runner on YouTube and TikTok. Uh,
Okay.
that's the place to go. It's the place to follow. Everything will be there.
Okay.
If you want to donate, because I am doing this for charity, I am doing this to raise money
Yeah.
for single parents. I know we
Definitely.
didn't even
Yeah.
talk about that.
I know. So tell me a little bit about the charity.
Yeah, so it's a single parent project. They help support single parents in need. My mom was a single mom. My aunts were single moms. My mother-in-law was a single mom. There's a lot of single parents in my life, and so, uh, and now my dad, who I have a better relationship now that I'm older, uh,
Mhm.
he's now a single dad to a young kid, and so that's
Mm.
why I picked this organization because it's single parents. It's not just single moms
Sure.
because it is, I have a client who's a single dad, lost his wife to cancer, and now has 3 kids on his own. So, it's not just moms, it's
Yeah.
also dads.
Yeah.
And so they help support these parents.
Right. Who
And
can't have access to, like, government aid, right? So it's
yes, it's
yeah.
this weird, and then
Yeah.
yes, we can talk about this all day, but there's
Yeah.
the poverty line is here when it needs to be
Right.
here. And there's
Yeah.
this whole gap of people that
Yeah.
sit here that
Mhm.
can't get government assistance but can't afford to live.
Yep.
And so that's basically where they fill in. They might help pay for rent, they might help pay for groceries. Something for myself that was big. Actually, funny enough, the person that I've partnered in this gym with, he was essentially like my father figure growing up. He paid for like all of my sports growing up. Um, because my mom couldn't afford for me to play football or do these things. And so the single parent project helps pay for these things. Um, and so that's, like whatever these families need, they help pay for, all of these different things. And right now, more than ever, it is needed with the
Mhm.
economic state of the world and this
Yeah.
country. And so, yeah, it's basically they're helping support single parents. And
Mhm.
obviously money is needed for that. And so
Yeah.
my goal is $100,000 this go
Amazing.
around.
How are you
They've
doing on that so far?
I haven't started it. I
Oh,
haven't even
okay.
had a track
Oh,
yet. So I haven't even,
right.
it's been,
Okay, sorry.
I wish I could have started it by now, but
Okay.
I've needed to find where I'm even going to run because
Yeah.
first venue pulled the plug on me 20 days before this run was supposed to start. So,
Yeah.
which is about when I was going to start doing, gathering donations. Thankfully, plenty will come through the run.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not too worried. It's a big goal,
Okay.
but I know we can hit it.
Yeah.
But if you want to donate, it's a single parent project. All that stuff's linked through my social media, but you can also find the single parent project as well
That's
on
awesome.
social media to donate to them directly.
So important, so important. Um, and Buff Runner, let me see. This is this the name behind Buff Runner because I was like, wait, is it like a buff, like a face, like buff, or like?
No.
But you used to be a like a fitness instructor, maybe, or you
Yeah,
worked at
so
a gym and
I taught at a studio. Like it was like a cycling class.
okay,
But it took place on assault treadmills instead of a bike. Really
okay.
fun, really cool. And a
Ooh,
buddy of
assault
mine started
treadmills.
calling
Ooh,
me, yeah, a buddy of mine started calling me Buff Runner. And so because I was instructing there, I just changed my Instagram name to Buff Runner because it was just
yeah,
like, funny. It fit with what I was doing. And then it's
yeah,
just stuck. Uh,
yeah.
and it fits. I weigh 215 pounds.
Hmm.
Like I'm a much bigger individual than most runners.
Yeah,
I just weighed in that, a couple weeks or yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago at
yeah.
215.
Okay.
It's funny, right before this, I was just, I was doing my last like heavier lift. Um, and just repped out 225 on bench with no problem. Like I do have, I have a lot of muscle mass compared to most runners. And so it fits the narrative being the buff
Yeah,
runner. Um, yeah. So
that's awesome.
it came from that studio though.
Yeah. Well, it's so awesome, and you have merchandise and everything that you're
Yep.
selling, and your social media is actually super funny, so, very entertaining. Definitely encourage everybody to
Thank you.
check it out. Yeah, yeah, and, I will be on the edge of my seat waiting to hear about this track situation. I feel like I'm always, like,
Yes, we
checking your
have a
account.
somewhat of a solution.
Okay.
So it's like it's not ideal, but like there is something in place to so it's like it's happening. I'm
Yeah,
not stressing about like not having somewhere,
yeah,
but it's not ideal. So I'm
yeah,
hoping that a few of these last second things pull through because we're
yeah,
10 days out right now.
yeah.
Um,
I think a lot of
it's
us are
been a
gonna be, like,
nightmare of a
cheering,
week.
like you just know that there are people there, like, people are, like, supporting you and, like, ready for the good news, so, uh, I'm sure it'll all work
Yes.
out.
Yes,
Yeah,
there will be news. There will be official finalized news like Monday, Tuesday of next week. If not
can't wait.
this weekend, but it'll probably
Mhm.
be Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah,
uh, so, oh yeah, I guess
awesome.
this is coming out after all that. But I was gonna say, so be on the edge of
Yeah.
your seats, but you'll hear this later, so you'll know where I'm
Yeah,
running at that point.
it'll be yeah, it'll be in the middle of your run, so but anyway, thank you. I know you're busy, you got a lot of stuff going on. I caught you at a good time because 'cause you're kind of, like, tapering if that's something
Yes,
that you do.
this is you caught me
Um
at the perfect time because like I basically have uh I've like my work week next week ends
Yeah,
Wednesday midday.
yeah,
Uh, and I've blocked my calendar more off so I take less calls. Um, I've needed to with how stressed I've been about this track. Um,
yeah.
I mean, I could feel it in my body. I went on a 6 mile run and I was like, I was beat to hell from 6 miles because I've been so
That's how the taper is, though.
stressed.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I've been so stressed that my body is
Oh,
just like
no.
not recovering
Mm.
at all.
Oh, no.
So I've needed to like dial back on a few things. And now that stress has, resolved itself. And I'm not going to run as many miles as I was hoping through this taper. Um, but that's okay. It's a taper. It's not a training week. So it doesn't really matter how many miles I run as long as I'm keeping my body moving um, and not beating myself up. Uh,
Yeah.
that's that's what matters through the taper. And so,
Yeah, you're not gonna
yeah,
improve fitness at this point, but you can hurt it,
no,
right? So
if I'm not ready for this now, if I wasn't ready for this 4 weeks ago, then I'm screwed. So,
right.
and I was ready. I've been ready
Yeah,
for. I did that simulation run a month out
yeah,
from starting this, and I was like, "Yep, I'm ready to go." I've never felt more ready for something physically in my life than right
yeah.
now.
That's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. Well, we'll definitely wish you all the luck, and, again, we'll be watching and supporting from Baltimore, um yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you having a conversation with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks to Mason for sharing his story with us, and thank you for tuning into the show. If I could ask a small favor, would you please take a moment to rate and review the show wherever you stream content? It helps us reach more people who need our community. Until next time, keep running, keep inspiring, and keep sharing how maybe running will help. Have a great run, everybody.
I press the button and the doors go up like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, vintage friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers. Pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go up like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip. Neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib. Neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's Nick. Neighborhood do the dance, neighborhood do the deal. Okay, thought I'd never make it like no way. I'm the real deal, no role play. My days off, that's no days. No, I hustle hard, young rose. E be the shooter, that's cold case. Those on the deals, that's brose. Got no pay, yo, no say. Okay, the news, tell them read it. Been the one since a fetus. Don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic. That's a no, no, no. Spending dope for no reason. Got a ball head, Mr. Cleaner. Heard the big bags overseas, then we gon' go, go, go. Whoa, I pressed the button.